Hello everyone. We will be starting the call now. First of all, welcome to the API Manager community call. I hope you are doing well. I'm Praminda Jayavardhan from WSO2 API Manager team. And today we will be talking about extending WSO2 API Micro Gateway. Please feel free to ask questions if you have any. So to ask question, you can use the chat during the presentation, or you can ask question verbally after the presentation as well. We will be recording this call and uploading the session to the our YouTube community channel API Live. So let's take a look at our agenda today. So under extending WSO2 API Micro Gateway, we will be talking about the message transformation with interceptors. We will be looking at the Ballerina, both Ballerina and Java interceptors, and then the newly introduced feature customizing the filter chain. And then we will be talking about the extension filter and the startup extensions used. So during this call, we will be mostly looking at the usages of these defined extension points. We will not go into deep details of the implementation and other things. So at the end, we will be having an open discussion where you can discuss anything regarding the API management platform. So first of all, let's look at how you can transform message with interceptors. So interceptors is a concept used in WSO2 API Micro Gateway where we are providing a way for you or the developers to write some custom code or implementations in the request and response path. So if you look at what an interceptor is, it's just a piece of code where you write some Ballerina or Java code asking the gateway to intercept the request and do these kind of transformations onto the message. So these interceptors are invoked right after the micro gateway complete its request processing before it is sent to the backend. And when the response comes from the backend, before it is go forwarded into the client, then the response interceptor will be in. So in here, the first usage is, the first expected usage is to transform messages. By transforming messages, what we mean is, for example, let's say you want to receive a request from the client, and before passing it into the backend, you need to add a header or write some logic to modify a header. So that is something you can do with interceptors. So inside interceptor, you will receive all the details of the request, the payload, headers, and everything. You can transform those as you want. You can go into a deep implementations like converting the payload, modifying the payload also. But that what you should keep in mind is that it will affect the gateway's performance, because gateway have to build the payload, and that will take some time. The other usage is implementing dynamic endpoints. Dynamic endpoints means assume a scenario where you don't know the exact backend endpoint you need to invoke when you are developing the gateway. When you are defining the gateway API, you don't know what is the exact backend endpoint you need to invoke. So in that case, you have to derive or talk to some third-party endpoint to know the exact endpoint you need to pass the request. So for those scenarios, you can write some custom logic in the interceptor to look up the actual backend you need to call. Maybe let's say there's some kind of a header that is coming in the original request. Depending on the header's value, you need to find out the exact backend endpoint you need to call. So For scenarios like that, you can use dynamic endpoints, and that can be implemented via interceptors. Request chaining is another thing you can do with interceptors, where you have multiple endpoint calls. So let's say if you have an previous experience with micro gateway, you just basically define a single uh, endpoint, a backend endpoint, where you need to pass the request. So assume a scenario where you need to uh, talk to multiple endpoints and create a payload or a request that need to pass into the final backend. So that kind of scenarios also can be implemented using interceptors. So in micro gateway, we have two types of interceptors. One is Ballerina interceptors, that is written with Ballerina language. The other thing is Java interceptors, so that is written in Java. So if we look at a sample here, uh, I have a already initiated project called PetStore, and this is an Ballerina. This is what a Ballerina interceptor looks like. So you can give any. It's basically a Ballerina function. You can give any name, but the accepted input parameters should be in this format. So if we look at a simple example, so in this example, what we are doing is we are validating if the incoming request contains this specific header. If it doesn't contain, we are not going to pass that request into the backend. We just throw an error to the client. So this kind of simple things can be implemented, or you can go deep and do anything with Ballerina logic. You are not limited to simple things in here. So the other one is the Java interceptor. So in here, what you have to do, you can open a Java project, new Java project, and define one of your own class and implement this interceptor interface that is provided in this micro gateway interceptor dependency Java file. So that is available in the Maven Central also. So you can define your dependency in the Maven file. And then this interceptor will provide you two interface methods, one for intercepting requests and one for intercepting responses. So this is the method definition, and this is again similar scenario. We are implementing something similar to the Ballerina implementation we saw earlier. So after doing this, you have to compile this Java project, and you will get a Java file, and that Java file you have to put that into your project's lib file here. You have to copy that here, and then when you build the project, it will invoke your interceptor logic. So one thing you have to notice is that the interceptors are not global to all your APIs or all the resources you have defined in your APIs. It's on very specific to the places or the resources APIs you have defined it. For example, if we look at the API definition we have in this micro gateway project, this one here, I have defined this. I need the request interceptor to be this Java interceptor. This is how you define a Java interceptor in the API definition. And I need my response interceptors to be this Ballerina interceptor. So if you have multiple APIs in this same micro gateway project, this these two interceptors will be valid only for this PetStore basic API. If you want these interceptors to work in the other APIs also, you have to specifically go and define it in that API definitions as well. So let's move on to the next topic, customizing the filter chain. So filters are one thing that make the filters difference from the interceptors is that filters is applied globally to all of the APIs you have in your runtime. So filters are executed at the very beginning of the request response flow. When the request comes into the gateway from the client, at the very beginning, the defined field chain will be invoked, and these all the filters that are defined in the filter chain will be invoked sequentially in a defined order. That order is defined in the micro gateway for all of the default filters. That is an predefined order. So if you look at the micro gateways implementation itself, all of the features that is supported by micro gateway is implemented using filters. So you have a basic Ballerina gateway, and on top of that, we have implemented set of filters to provide authentication, authorization, subscription validation, throttling and analytics, and all of those things are implemented using Ballerina filters. So this is the default filter chain. You have these set of filters available in the default filter chain. So let's say you need to plug in some additional filter into this filter chain. What you will do is you have to know this. Let's say you need to put some additional filter into the in here. After the authentication filter, you need to know the index where you need to put. So I will show you how you can do that. So this is an custom filter implementation. This is just a Ballerina object definition. It has two methods, filter request and filter response. Here again, we are doing this XORth header validation. If the request contains this header, we will allow the request to go into the backend or further processing in the micro gateway. Otherwise, we will respond to the client from the filter. So that is our filter implementation. What we will do is to make this work. What we will do is we will copy this filter implementation file into the projects extensions directory, and then if you build the project and run, this filter should get invoked. Before doing that, to make the configuration to say this is where I'm going to, I need the filter to be invoked. So you have to go to your project conf directory and open the deployment toml file. In here, you have to define this filters configuration and give your filters name. This should be the name you have defined in the filter here. So you give your name and you need to provide the position where you need this custom filter to be positioned in the filter chain. So in here, I'm saying I need this to be in the first place. So it will be applied in here. All the other, it will not replace the first gRPC filter. The gRPC filter will be the second one, and now you will have 10 filters in the filter chain. So that's how the filter chain is custom filters, how you can put custom filters into the filter chain. Now if we move on to the extension filter. So extension filter is again another Ballerina filter. Nothing special about it, but before, when we had this ability to put custom filters into the filter chain, we had this extension filter so that users can put users have some place to implement a custom filter into the filter chain. So basically what we expected by the time we introduced this extension filter, what we expected was to provide a place where you can customize the micro gateway specific error codes. So if you look at the extension filters default implementation, it provides you an sample implementation, providing you instructions to how to customize the error messages, default error messages of the micro gateway. So let me quickly show you where it is. So if you go to your project and extensions directory, here you have the extension filter. So it has some default logic implemented. So in the filter response method, it says it is giving some util methods where you can check the response and change your response message. This is an example implementation of how you can do that. And then if you look at the startup extension, so this is an extension. This is not a filter. This is a simple ballerina function that is invoked at the very beginning of the, not the very beginning, at the boot up of the micro gateway runtime. So this can be used to implement some custom tasks during the server startup. So few examples can be, assume if you have a monitoring dashboard or a monitoring, some kind of a server monitoring node, a third party one installed somewhere up and running, and you need to notify that a micro gateway boot up to that monitoring node. So to do that, you can implement this startup extension and do an HTTP in whatever the protocol you need. You can do a HTTP call to that endpoint and say, okay, this runtime got boot up, and that management node can maybe call to the runtimes health endpoint, health check endpoint, and monitor the instance. The other usage can be, assume where you need some external data sources loaded into your memory, maybe to use with your filters or the interceptors. Uh, if you want to do that during the startup of the gateway, then this is the place where you need to put that. So for example, this is again that file is also in the project's extensions directory. So you have startup extension bell file. So if you look at it, it's just an startup extension function called ballerina function called startup extension. You can implement any logic in here, but you need to make sure that it doesn't affect the gateway's startup time. So that is about the presentation. It's time to ask questions if you have any. So to answer a question I have, yes, we do. The question is if we have the all of this information in our documentation. Yes, if you go into this URL mg.docs.wso2.com, you can find all of this information in the documentation. Looks like we don't have any questions today. Our next community call will be on October 1st, 2020, and you can go to our community page to register to that community call as well. Also, please, if you are not already joined, please join our Slack channel and you can talk to our community there. Also, follow our Twitter and you can talk to our community again using the email. To find out more about our uh, project and the product, you can visit our website and the WSO2 API Manager YouTube channel. That's it. So thanks everyone for joining. Have a nice day.